Hello there, everyone. It's Coach Q here, just popping in to share some information with you regarding how to release the burden of anxiety. Now, it goes without saying that right now the world is facing a health crisis. And many of you are affected even on a personal level. Maybe your jobs are requiring you to stay at home. Maybe you're concerned about the health of your family members, and rightfully so. So today I wanted to take a few minutes to help you break through this feeling of anxiety and fear. Now, it's one of the most common emotions felt by many people right now. Whether you label it anxiety or fear, depending on your vocabulary, the effects can be the same. So what is fear or anxiety? I've heard many expressions and acronyms. I like the one that says fear is false evidence appearing real, which is very true. Another definition that I like is fear is an irrational response to a perceived event. Now, I know you're probably thinking coronavirus and COVID-19 is not perceived. Very true. So how can we apply this definition also to ourselves? Well, the word perceived basically means that it's imagined. It's the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses. In times of uncertainty right now, and it can play on your use of imagination, resulting in a variety of hypothetical situations and scenarios. So that is the debilitating fear that we're going to talk about today. There's actually both good and bad fear. If you were crossing the street and heard tires screeching, that fear, if you listen to it, can actually save your life. But that's not the fear that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the type of anxiety and fear that is crippling or even debilitating. Some may have a fear to actually even go outside, to go anywhere where there is a large group of people. And if I'm being perfectly honest, this is something that I struggled with for years prior to the whole coronavirus pandemic. Early 2010, I was suffering and I was enslaved to panic attacks on almost a daily basis. And they got so bad that I was going to the emergency room probably once a week. So I definitely can relate to how debilitating anxiety and fear can be. In fact, I wrote a blog post about it in 2016, and it was entitled "The Absolute Worst Thing to Do When You're Having a Panic Attack." And it's probably not what you would think it is. The absolute worst thing to do when you're suffering from anxiety is to deny that you're suffering from anxiety. When you actually deny the fact that you have anxiety, it can actually create within you an increased adrenaline rush. It can make you feel like you are suffocating within your own body because it's tightening up your airways, preventing you from actually even breathing. It can make you feel like you're having a heart attack because your muscles are tightening. So instead of denying the big pink elephant in the room, we're going to tackle it head on. In fact, to be emotionally intelligent, you will acknowledge what feelings and emotions you have. Recognize how they play out in the environment around you in ways that you can maintain control over them and use them for your good. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to exercise our right and our power to be emotionally in control. So one of the first things that I learned to do when I'm suffering from anxiety is to activate the five senses. So in that case, what you would do is close your eyes and take in a deep breath. as you inhale, you want to smell everything that is around you. It may sound silly, but just go ahead and do it. By activating your olfactory senses, you're alerting your brain and your thoughts that you are in tune with what is going on. Then you want to hear what is around you. I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping right now, but I do. So you want to hear what is around you. Whatever that noise is, take a moment and identify it. After you do that, you want to look around. Notice what is around you. Now you want to feel. Now you may want to feel your hands. They may even be clammy, but go ahead and feel them. Feel your arms. Feel your face. And last but not least, taste. Now, if you have something to taste, perfect. Take even a drink of water so that you can taste. I'm actually tasting the food that I just ate not too long ago. As you activate your five senses, what you are doing is slowly calming your heart rate down to focus on the present moment. Fear, once again, as we talked about earlier on, means that your mind has gone into the future. It's not in the present moment. So by activating those five senses, you help yourself to be present in this moment and start to relax. Now, fear and anxiety plays on your imagination. So now that we've activated the five senses, I want you to ask yourself, what are you choosing to imagine? Is it real? Or is it imaginary? Now that you've identified your choice and what you are choosing to imagine, what triggered it? I'm not talking about the obvious, coronavirus. What specific thought or action triggered your imagination? Was it something you heard on the news? Was it a phone call? Was it a text message? What triggered your imagination? Now that you have identified these triggers, you choose how to respond. You recognize the process that's taking place in your imagination, your unconscious mind, that programming that was on autopilot. You now choose to turn the channel. So what are some ways that you can turn the channel on your imagination so that fear and anxiety no longer is crippling? My favorite thing to do is to express gratitude. In this present moment, what are you thankful for? One of my favorite scriptures when it comes to fear and anxiety is Matthew 6:27, which says, "Who of you by being anxious can add 1 cubit to its lifespan. You see, fear and anxiety, the debilitating, crippling fear and anxiety, serves you no purpose. So instead, I invite you and I encourage you to use your imagination for the good. The future is tomorrow. The present is a gift.